Hi YouTube, it's Jonathan at the piano lesson, and you'll never believe this, but I was just recording a lesson, and for some odd reason, my recorder stopped, so I'm going to do it again, especially for you. So here's what we were talking about. Great song to learn when you're just starting out, kind of an easier tune, is a song called Inchworm. And it was written by a great composer, Frank Loesser. It's spelled Loesser, I believe. I will double check my spelling here. Let's double check the spelling. Am I right? Yeah, Loesser, great. Frank Loesser. He lived from 1910 to 1969. He was a giant of a composer. And if you don't know about him, you can learn about him. Just as important as anyone you've ever heard of. This song was written actually for a movie for children. The story of Hans, Danish, I think. Danish or Dutch? Was it Dutch? Oh no, I have to. Was it which kind of? I don't want to seem like the ugly American and confuse Holland with Denmark. So let's just look that up. Danish. Okay, thank you very much. I knew it was Danish. I didn't think it was Dutch. Okay, so I'm giving myself that one, if you don't mind. So a little Danish story for children. Really super fun if you have kids or you know people who have kids or not. It's just a beautiful story. But this song was written for the movie. And it's really charming. There's just a few chords in it. It's not very long. It's like a 16-bar tune, 8 plus 8. And typically it's played in F. It's a nice tune to transpose. And it's also a waltz. It's a jazz waltz. So, you know, most waltzes we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But in jazz we have 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. See, so one of those, when I snapped my fingers, that came in on the beat, on the third count. The first of those two came in between count 1 and 2, right? That was let's call it an offbeat syncopation. 1 and 2 and 3, right? And in jazz, and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. And I'm just playing fifths in the left hand, F, C, B flat, E flat. They really sound nice. And 6 chords, F, C, A, spreading the notes out, D, and then F. Now, this particular one, I could do the same thing here. E flat, B flat, G, C, E flat. But I kind of like to do something a little different down here. I like taking that 6 and putting it down actually in here. Now, it doesn't seem to sound very good, but on a piano, you can do those things. Isn't that a lovely kind of, it has this sort of magical quality to it. But the F, that's the second, not the ninth, because there's no seventh in the chord. And then up here, and the melody, C, A, B flat, G. What interval is that? That's a sixth. It's good to learn tunes without music. You can only get the music to this, but listen to practice intervals, practice recognizing intervals. If you take a sixth, C, D, E, F, G, A, that's a major 6. A is the 6th note in the key of C. If you take those notes and invert them, flip them upside down, so you take the C, put it up here, right? Now you have a third, but it's a minor third. Why is it a minor third? Because this is an A, and the third note in an A major scale is not C, it's C sharp. So if you go down a half step, that's what makes it minor. That's the distinction. So if you have a major interval, a little trick, if you have a major interval and you invert it, you get a minor. And conversely, if you have a minor, you get a major. But those would be good to practice listening to, right? And doing also practicing sixth as a scale. If you can do nothing else, the real heavyweight classical guys, that's what they do a lot of times. And repeating the note all the way down or going up. I'm using 1, 4, 2, 5. and I'm replacing my fingers. That's C. You could also just do a straight scale. You could kind of like, start with the third finger, 3. Let's do like here, 3, E and C, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, maybe 3, 4. There's no one right way to do it. And then going down. Sixths are fantastic. Or doing it chromatic. And doing both hands. You could. That's kind of nice. Feels nice in the hand. Or this is E and C. You could go G and E. That might sound kind of prettier. It's harmonized. All right. I'll show you what that looks like from above, because we're going to use a lot of sixths in this. This 1 and 4, 2, 5, 1, 4, 2, 5. Notice I switch. I play on the side of the finger. I don't let the key up. It's all legato. Right? So melody. And here's this is fun, this cluster of notes. I think in terms of clusters, not just chords, right? But that's a nice sound. Or I could, and then maybe, kind of experiment. Inchworm, inchworm, ba-da-da, ba-da, da-da-da, F7, B flat, E flat, F in first inversion, D7, G, C. So a lot of secondary dominants. Oh, I dropped my pen. Oh no! A lot of secondary dominants here. So the F7, this is 5 of 4. What is 4? 4 is the B flat chord. Let's write that a little bit clearer here. B flat, Maj7, major 7. That's the 4 chord in the key of F. 1, 2, 3, 4, F, G, A, B flat, right? 5 of 4, S, E, C, O, N, D, A, R. Secondary, D, O, M, I, N, A, N, T. Dominant. Dominant chord is always the 5 chord in any key. And this is secondary. Why? Because the primary chords, the primary, P-R-I-M-A-R-Y, the primary chords are 1, 4, 5. That is really not any chord in the key of F. Although in jazz, we often start songs with dominant chords. The blues, we take the primary chords and we make them all into blues. The primary chords in this song, right, would be F, B flat, and C, right? They'd be 1, 4, and 5. But in the blues, we play F7, B flat 7, C7. It's kind of crazy for the blues. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, first ending, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, second ending, okay? And I'll play it for you in a second. You could do a little vamp as well at the end, maybe 4 times. You could do it as an introduction or as an ending or just simply as kind of like a little jam on 2 chords. But here's what it'll sound like. I like hanging on to that C. Now, this is F7. I'm adding one more note in there. I'm adding this note, the C sharp. I like that little color there, that augmented sound. It's kind of fun. I've got 2 Fs in here, and I'm not so sure I'm happy with that. So I might do something, I probably might do something like, that sounds a little better. I can stick my thumb in the cracks. B flat, G, A, C, D, F. Isn't that interesting? You know, you can think in terms of clusters of notes, but it's basically B flat. And then E flat 7, or again, you could add some color. You could put the C in. That would be the 13. Why is that the 13 and not the 6? Well, because you have a 7 here. So that's why. If you didn't have the 7, then it would be a 6. And then F, first inversion. So root position, first inversion, second inversion. Just nice to have, an F chord, a basic triad that's just not in root position. Some people play A minor 7 here, and it's the wrong chord, really. I've seen that in a lot of books. It's really not the right chord. They play A minor 7. And the reason it's not A minor 7 is because this F is not appropriate. I mean, for a minor chord. You end up hearing that. Now, we typically call that F, but in this instance, you have to really look at it in terms of an alteration, a sharp 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sharp 9, E sharp, 6, then that's kind of not a bad voicing, G7, and then C, and then back to the F. So here's what it sounds like. 11, and then I have a augmented chord here, whole tone. It's a nice sound. And here's F7, so you can do that little vamp. So just kind of review our blues scales. You got, I like to learn scales. Again, you know me, I like to learn scales, not in terms of a row of notes, but I like to learn scales in terms of fourths. So here's a perfect fourth. And here's another perfect fourth. All right? Most scales require these, we call them disjunct because they're not overlapping. Disjunct fourths, perfect fourths. And then we add some notes in here. So what do we add? Well, the minor third, this is the A flat, okay? And then, again, this is the flatted third, flatted seventh. Why is it not a minor third? Well, this is a minor third. The interval here it's up a minor third, but this is a flatted third. This is a flatted seventh. And then there's one magical note. So the structure of these notes is exactly the same as this. Minor third step, minor third step, and then we stick in the tritone right in there. And actually, if you look at this cluster of notes right here, depending on how you spell it, you can spell this as A flat or G sharp, but let's just spell it as G sharp for the heck of it. G sharp, A sharp, B, C. That would be a diminished fourth. That's a minor fourth. That's why it's a good idea to learn these tetrachords, guys. It really is. We avoid the second, right? And we avoid the sixth in this instance. As for terms of fingering, I like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now, if you're going to keep going up, you cross your thumb under. And if you don't, you could end with 4s, different ways to do it. That fingering, by the way, is very useful for other scales. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. What are we doing here? No, 1, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could use 5, but I don't like skipping fingers typically. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same fingering for the E flat. And notice, I take groups of 4s. That's why I like tetrachords. Interesting. So here's our tune. on that. Are all blues chords. 7th, 3rd, 5th. That's the 4 chord in the key of F. B flat in second inversion. Church. And then is your 7th, 5th, and the 9th. Now, here's some interesting colors. F7, I'm going to erase this, so say goodbye to Hollywood. Okay, here's some interesting kind of 11 chord sounds. F7, horizontal line, G minor 7, right? What is that? Well, that's basically F7 with, this is the important note in it. That's the added 11th. That's the 11th in there. This is the 9th, and this is the... Now I could play the D as well. That's not too bad actually, because that would sound good. That's kind of a 13. 9th, 11, 13. Now if I wrote that, that's a little... In some ways it's better, but in some ways it doesn't tell you how I want to voice it. This kind of tells you how I want to voice it. Root position G minor 7, G, B flat, D, F, and F7. Now notice I'm not putting in the 3rd. I never do that with 11 chords or suspensions, like a sus4. Why? Well, because how does this sound? Not so hot, right? You know, it's a totally different animal. Right? It functions like a suspension. Tenths, walking tenths. You stay on one note. So I don't know. What do you think? It's a fun little tune. You can just find it in the real book somewhere. But if you see some of those, if you see some weird chords, you'll know just to bypass them. It's not that uncommon to find weird chords in the real book, right? And the way we sort them out is just by playing with people and making mistakes. But the easiest way to tell what the chord is by looking at the melody notes, because the melody notes should be part of the chord, and if they're not, something's wrong. The name is wrong, or something's going on that's odd. So just going to take a little sidebar here. We've had a very cold weather, very rainy weather. I'm not exactly sure why. It's not so bad, but gosh, it's the middle of June, and it's just, why is it so cold? I don't know. But I'm anxious to get my garden started. I'm a little late to the game, but since it's been cool, I'm not so worried. And I did go drive out to a lab and get a soil test in a lab. So I'm going to be real scientific about it and find out what kind of soil amendments and nutrients I need for my soil. I think it's just a good idea. I'm just starting out on a new plot, a little community garden, and I kind of want to see what I'm starting with. So before we go, quick little technical thing. Let's do some scale fingering, because we don't practice enough. We don't practice the blues scales enough. But I'm going to go through them quickly. I'll do them just with the right hand right now. But the root, flatted third, fourth, sharp 4, 5, flatted seventh, and then the root. Now, as I said earlier, you have a perfect fourth here, and you also actually have a perfect fourth here. We're kind of missing a note. We're kind of, in a sense, we're kind of like missing, we're missing a note here. And this guy here, this sharp 4 or flat 5, or however you want to call it, this is the tritone, right? The smack dab in the middle of the octave. So as an example, if this was F, A flat, B flat, I'm going to get rid of that. A little more confusing. B natural, or C flat, either one, potentially. And then C, E flat, and F. Okay? And then again, this B here is smack dab in the middle. That's our tritone. So in terms of fingering, especially 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's several blues scales that do that. Let's see. Been a while since I've done this. Then you have the opposite. Let's just do, like, here's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's B flat. That's pretty useful, if you're playing the key of F, because you want 1, 4, 5. 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So let's write those fingerings out. Those are pretty common fingerings. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want to go up another octave and cross the thumb. So that would be like, say, an F blues or a B flat blues. Whereas over here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then 3 if you want to end, or 1 if you want to keep going. So let's just say C, E flat. Remember that what I'm writing over here, I'm writing, these are fingers. This is all fingering. So we're not talking about scale degrees anymore. We're just talking about fingering, okay? So here you have a group of 4 and a group of 3, right? Here you have a group of 3 and a group of 4, all right? C, E flat, F, F sharp, or G flat, maybe. And then G, B flat, and C, all right? What did I write down here? F, A flat, B flat, B natural, right? That's where your tritone is, or maybe C flat, possibly, C, E flat, and F. All right. So that's good for C. It's good for D, E, G, A. Right. That's pretty. And then, right, C, D, E, G, A, and then this. The B natural is over here. And then what do we have here? We have a few of the black keys. We said B flat was that, right? The E flat was this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. E E flat. Okay, so those are two main groups, and then the third group you have C sharp or D flat, F sharp or G flat, and it looks like this. Oh, excuse me. I go 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 2 1 2 1 2 3 4. That's a possibility. Or 2 1 2 1 2 3 4. They all work. Either and they're separated by fourths: A flat, D flat, G flat. So you can kind of remember that group: A flat, D flat, G flat. They're all kind of separated by fourths. 2 1 2 1 2 3 4. 2 1 2 1 2 3 4. 2 1 2 1 2 3 4. Now there are different fingerings I might possibly use. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. That's a possibility for the G flat. You just gotta mess around with it. Okay, well, I don't know. Excuse me, but I feel like I need to cram some good old, technique stuff in here. Alrighty, anyway, I'm going to get going. Good to see you. Thanks again. This is Jonathan at the Piano Lesson. Send me your thoughts and suggestions, or don't. And I will be back next week. Bye-bye.